Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be talking about the MLK shenanigans that I went through this year. I know you're probably wondering, like, what kind of story could you have that goes with MLK Day, but y'all, it was a mess. So every year in my city, suburb of Chicago, every year in my city, they have a Martin Luther King Day celebration. And as far as I can remember, like my whole life, I have been going to this MLK celebration. It starts early in the morning. So at usually 6 a.m., we start a lineup at City Hall and we walk 2 blocks to the Civic Center. It used to be like a candlelit visual where everybody would bring candles and stuff. But as time went on, everybody forgot about the candles. But I still remember me and my family still be bringing the candles. We were the only ones with a candle out there. But yeah, so this happens every single year. And for the past, I think 2 or 3 years, I was at school, so I wasn't able to attend the ceremony. So this year, with being back at home, I was so excited about going because this is something I've been going to my whole life. So I feel really connected to it. And I was excited. We show up at the MLK Day celebration and it was cool at first. We did the march and we marched to City Hall. The mayor of my town led the march. It was about as many Caucasian people as it was African Americans who were a part of the march. And then when we arrived to the Civic Center, in the room, it was still some people don't do the march. Some people just show up at the center. So it was about the same amount of African Americans as Caucasians in the room. And they also have vendors and stuff, and they have donuts and coffee, and it's really nice. And they have a whole presentation. So before the presentation started, I went around, looked at all the vendors, and then I went to sit down. And behind me was a Caucasian lady and her husband. I think he had on a service uniform. I don't know. I didn't really look at him. Maybe he was a firefighter or something. And then behind them was 2 rows of African American people. So they began the program with the posting of the colors, and that's when they post the U.S. flag, the military. I don't know. They post 3 different flags. So they started with that, and they was everybody rise for the posting of the colors and the national anthem. And I thought to myself, do I want to stand up? Mind you, my whole life, I have not stood up for the national anthem. And I know that's a new thing, oh, everybody thinks it's a wave, but no, when I was in 3rd grade in school, when they used to start the day with standing up and everybody doing the national anthem, my mom told me not to do it. She explained to me at a young age, don't stand up for something that you don't fully support. And so when it was time for this, of course, I didn't stand up because that's nothing that I'm new to. I don't do it. After everybody standing up, I'm sure people looking at me. I don't know. I was just in my own world. And then they did the national anthem. I didn't stand up for that either. And then they did the Negro national anthem. And when they did the Negro national anthem, I stood up, of course, and waited for that one to be over. And then after, I hear the Caucasian lady behind me talking about, I think immediately after everything was over, her husband got up and walked away. And then I heard her behind me, I think she was talking to the African American people behind her. She was like, you were supposed to stand up. They said stand up. You're supposed to stand up. Kind of whispering, but of course I heard her. But I ignore her because I don't talk to people about their foolishness. I'm going to do what I feel is right. And if you don't feel like it's right for you, okay, don't bother me. I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. So after that, I was okay, I'm going to get over all of this, whatever. I'm going to stay here for this program. Now, mind you, I said this is a Martin Luther King Day presentation. And okay, I know he stood for everybody together, this and that, but I feel everybody's motives don't always have good intentions. After they did the posting of the colors and the national anthems and everything, then they had a pastor come up to pray for everybody. And I was in so much astonishment. I didn't even bow my head and close my eyes. Like, I was just so astonished that they had a Caucasian man come and pray. And it's not just the fact that he was Caucasian, it's the extraness that he put into his prayer. It was so dramatic. And I mean, I know African American, we get dramatic in our prayers sometimes, but his was just overly dramatic. It seemed like a mocking of a prayer. And it was just so dramatic. At the end of the prayer, he was like, and all of God's children yell amen. Like, and everybody said amen with him. But I was so shocked. I was just staring at him the whole time like, what? Is this really happening? So after that, I was like so over it. My mom, she had been by the vendor, so she was standing over there. She didn't have time to get back to where we were sitting. So after all of that, she came back to me, and I was like, Mom, this is a bunch of crap. We gotta go. It's time to go. I'm over this. I'm never coming back to this ever again until they decide to do it right. The people who put the whole MLK thing together is, I think it's like the African American pastors of my city. So but their main funder is the mayor's office. And right now I don't agree with the mayor that we have. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of the African Americans in my community don't agree with the mayor that we have. I felt like it was so obvious who was running the show. Like, all of this just ties into the reason why I'm never going to go back to this program that they put on MLK Day until the proper people are put in office and put it together in a better manner. I don't feel like I will ever go back. When you feel like something is wrong, then you're supposed to become a part of it to make it right. But I think that the only people who really can be a part of it are the Pastors Society of my city. So I don't know what much I can do. I probably could talk to them, but they still probably won't hear what I'm saying. The African American community needs to realize that we can do things for ourselves. Like, we need to start fundraising and putting our money together so that we can honor our forefathers, our big community figures in a better way than anybody else can honor them. When other people are in charge of telling our history, a lot of times it's changed and watered down. We can only count on ourselves to tell our history right. But I know when I have overwhelming feelings that I need to follow my feelings, because I'm very intuitive. Cancers are extremely intuitive. We read situations very well. So I know when I feel something, even though I may not be able to explain it, I need to follow my mind. So honestly, I'll probably never go back to that program unless I find out that they're doing it right. But I hope that from watching this video, you learned something. It puts some thoughts in your mind. You know, think deeply about what you're supporting and what's going on with what you're supporting. And if you feel like you shouldn't support it, then don't until you have a better understanding of the reasons that you do. So thanks for watching, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed my story time. Follow me on social media at Just Black No Cream. That's just BLK No Cream on all social media outlets. I love y'all, and I'll see you next time.